Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. This morning I'll be introducing you to a very special lesson, that is how to draft a simple gown. I have my measurement already taken here. As I've told you earlier, measurement is done both in vertical and in horizontal way. If you know how to draft the basic bodies, we have done the measurement already in the vertical way here. For example, now this is our measurement. As I've told you, we have, this is the vertical, this is the horizontal. So here we have from upper bust we have 7, 10, 12, 15, 19, 21, and the knee is 38. So from, if we get our tape here, you will discover that this is 7, this is 10, this is 12, this is 15, this is 19, this is 21, and 38 is around this axis. Our knee is 38 inches here. So from this point we can start to draft the back pattern clearly. Now the first thing here is to go to the shoulder. For the shoulder is 14. So when you divide it by 2, you have 7. So you mark your 7. You mark your 7 out, and you go down to the upper bust. You mark your 7 also. Once you mark your 7, you connect those 2 points together. You connect those 2 points together, and for the shoulder is not straight, so there is a slant. So we introduce our slant just 1 inch. Then we connect it to this starting point of the neckline there. That is what we have. If you go to this measurement, we have what we call bust to bust point, or some people call it bust separation, some people call it nipple to nipple. The bust to bust point or nipple to nipple is to create a situation whereby you have a midpoint for your dress. We call it line of symmetry, so that your dress can sit clearly on both sides of the customer you are working on, so that the left hand side of the dress will not be bigger than the right hand side, or the right hand side be bigger than the left hand side. It gives room so that the left hand side will be equal to the right hand side. So for the nipple to nipple measurement, you take the measurement from one nipple point to the other, or one bust point to the other. And for the nipple to nipple measurement, the bust to bust measurement, or the bust separation we have this morning is 7. So what we do is that we divide it by 2, which will give us 3.5, and we add 0.5 to it for the sewing allowance, the joining allowance, which will give us 4 inches. So we are going to measure 4 inches all through, and we'll join it together clearly to get our nipple to nipple or bust to bust point. So we'll get our ruler and join it together clearly. Okay, we have completed the bust to bust point. So after the bust to bust point, you need to get the dart. The dart is introduced so as to create fitting for the dress. And when working on a simple gown, we always take the dart from below the bust point to above the hip. So what do we do here? For the bust point here, we have you go 1 inch below the bust, and you go to the waist. That's the one we call the upper waist. Now you go to the waist. Sometimes people take 0.5 on both sides, but sometimes people take also 0.75 on both sides. Sometimes people take 1 inch from both sides. But this morning I'll be taking 0.75 from both sides. I will take 0.75 here, and from this point I will also take 0.75, and then I will come to the hip point and take 1 inch above the hip. Then I will be joining it clearly to get the dart that we will use for this very point, to give it accurate fitting, so that there will be no overflow of the dress. The dress will not gather unevenly when putting it on. So this one will create fitting, and it will allow it to lap on your body accurately. Now we want to go straight to the horizontal measurement. From the upper bust here, the upper bust is 7.75. Is 7.75. We start from the upper bust, 7.75. Because when you are sewing as a professional, sometimes you add 1.5 inch to so that you can for sewing and both sewing and folding allowance. But if you are a beginner, I encourage you to add 2 inches for both your sewing and folding allowance, so that you can have a beautiful dress at the end of the day. So for 7.5, we add 2 more inches to it. This is what we have. If we go to the bust is 8. The bust is 8. We add 2 more inches to it, and we have 10. Then our lower bust is 7.735 inches. So if we add the 0.5 that we have here to it, we have 7.875 inches. Mark 7.875 inches. We add 2 inches to it, and we have 10.875 inches. We come here, we look at our waist. Our waist is we have 1.5 here. For our waist here, our waist is 7. 7 plus 1.5, that will give us 8.5. 8.5 plus 2 inches. This is 8.5. Then plus 2 inches. It will give us 10.5. It will give us 10.5. Now we come to this place, and this is the top hip. The top hip also, we have about 0.5 here. That's for the top. We have about 0.5. So if we add 0.5, what's our top hip here? Our top hip is 8.5. So if we have 0.5 to it, it will give us 9. Then 9 plus 2 inches also for sewing and folding allowance, we have 11. And then we come to the hip. The hip is 9 inches plus 2 inches. We also have 11. For the knee, in the knee is actually the hip minus 1.5, which will give you 7.5. And if we add 2 inches to it, we have 9.5 at the end of the day. So we can connect all our lines together. For our armhole here is 14, so we divide 14 by 2, which is 7. That's our armhole. So we are taking 7 from this point. So what we do is that we divide 7 by 2 again. We have about 3.5. So these are 3.5. So we take it out. We can take it out sometimes by 0.75 to also create a fitted armhole here, so that there will be no excess at this point. So you are going to take a curve. So you come down here. You just take you come down here, you create a line and see what it will give you. You have 7 around this way. You create a sewing allowance for them, maybe about 7.5. So you connect your armhole to this point. So when you can use your French cup to connect it, or you can use your free hand to connect your armhole. There should be a drop of around 1 inch here, so that the armhole can connect perfectly. For the shoulder, there should be shoulder allowance too. What we have here is 7, so you can add your 2 inches to it, so that when you are cutting, you have also where to fold, and also you also have your sewing allowance and your folding allowance. So when we connect it clearly from here, we have a perfect work of this nature. Don't forget that there should be sewing allowance of 0.5 inch to join this one at the top part here. So you also create that for what we will use to join it to the back side of this very dress. So we'll be cutting out now. Clearly we'll be cutting out. After that, we'll go to the back piece, and with that we'll have completed our dress. Let's cut quickly then before we go to the back piece. So let me cut it out quickly. So as you can see, we have finished cutting the front side of the gown. Now we are bringing the back side of the gown so that we can cut the back side also, and we'll now place the front side on top of the back side. What you do first is that you get the zip allowance. The zip allowance is going to be 2 inches, so we just mark the zip allowance there, and then from there we can trace out the remaining part of the gown. This is the zip allowance. We join it create a straight line to join it together. This is the zip allowance for the gown. So in cutting out the zip allowance from the waist region, you can take in maybe let's say 0.5 inches from the waist region to the bust point and to the hip. So you join it together. You join it together also, and you have it this way. So when it comes to sewing also, that's how you create your 2 inches inside for your zip allowance. This is also for so that they will be fitting at the back also, and you also create your dart at the back point. So from here we can cut out clearly and have also the back piece for this very dress. Let's cut and see the back piece. So at the end of the day you have a clear so we have the front piece and we have the back piece, and this half inch that is going inside is to create a fitting at the back end of the dress. So this is the front piece for our gown, and very beautiful. This is the front piece for our gown, and this is the back piece for our gown. So at the end of the day we will join this together, sew it perfectly. We have the front piece and we have the back piece. God bless you and have a wonderful day. See you in the next video.